Hello, hello. Is that right? Hey, Drea. Happy to see you guys tonight. Still getting used to the new way that the live goes active on my computer. Sometimes I'm slightly delayed because I'm looking for the comments, but that's just how I roll. So, tonight, I decided that we would do somewhat of a double Z fold card. I have a lot of things I want to show tonight, so we're going to get going pretty quick. I want to use the Beach Life stamp set, and we're going to use this right here. And then we're going to use these two people. We're going to do a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to paper piece some of their outfits. We're going to color this. We're going to use this as a border, also as a Z fold. We're going to double Z fold the card. We're going to use the Retro Vibes pattern paper, so more of this end of it and this one for the beachy theme. And then I don't know about sentiments, but I grabbed some of the little ephemera pieces I thought we could add in for special effects. So I have a few sentiments. I also have the stickers, some shells. So we're going to decorate it all up. So I think to start out, what we need to do is work on what we are going to paper piece. So I'm not sure how this is going to work with glossy paper, so bear with me. Here we go. That's right. Here we go. Not sure how this is going to work out with glossy paper, so we're going to be a little bit cautious when we do it. I have some scrap papers here. Quite a bit, actually. And we're going to use these scraps. I have one black piece, and then the rest are all scraps from the paper pad. They're the scraps I have right now left over so far. These are the ones that I made to show you guys samples before we got the paper pad in. The rest of them are just parts that I've used, and so we're going to try that tonight. I have two of these stamps because we're only going to do pieces and parts of the people. So we only need like the portion that we might do, which would be like their clothes. And for her, I need it to be her bathing suit and her hat. I definitely want to do her hat. I was thinking about doing her in polka dots because I just think the polka dot outfit and the hat would be super cute. I may try to do the glasses as well, but we'll have to do some cutting, so we'll see how long that's taking us. And then for him, for this guy right here, I thought that we could use different pieces from the papers that I had left over. I'm pretty sure I don't want to do checkerboard. It's not big enough for that, but like this area has blue in it, so I could certainly do like his shorts in blue, because we really just need that little piece of his shorts. And then I could do his top in something else. I don't know yet. I'm going to have him up against this paper, so I don't want to use that side of it, but we could make his shirt look beachy, or we could put palm trees on it, which that might be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do that. And then, so shorts for him, this one, for her, this one. I don't think this one, well, this one might match on this side, but I think I'm going to go with the blues. I think the blues will be really good. Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Sweet Bee. Hey, Tamara. Hey, Phyllis. Hey, Angela. Hey, Ellen. Look, get all of you here to check this out. Thank you so much for popping in. If I can find my ink pad, we'll be in really good shape. Okay, we're in really good shape now, you guys. We got this. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, just to try and make this a little less slippery, because the paper is glossy, semi-glossy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it off once on a piece of paper to kind of lighten the color, because we don't really need necessarily the really dark outline. I probably should have done that not on the paper, but... And then we're going to place her where we want it. So I'm kind of looking at her outfit and her hat at where I want that to be. And then hopefully we'll get enough of the outline, we'll be able to cut it. So see, the outline is really, really light. See? But it's there. I can see it. And it dries a bit quicker when that happens, if you stamp off first. So I think that is really helpful. So I'm going to do the same thing for him, but we want to do him in two parts. So we want to make his shorts, which are going to be down here, in the blue from this one. So I'm going to stamp it off first. I'm not pressing too hard, I'm just getting the excess ink off. And then I'm going to come over here and put his shorts on this paper. There we go. So we have his little shorts on there. That's what we need. And then for this one, I'm going to stamp him again. I'm going to stamp him off here. And then I'm going to come over here, and I kind of want his shirt to like have the grassy tree whatever on it. And you can certainly move them around, so who knows how well this is going to work. But we're going to try and see what happens. I think I can see that enough. It's a little bit challenging, but I think if I look at the stamp set, I should be able to do that. If it doesn't work out, we'll pick another piece. But I think we'll be okay, because we have the colored packaging right here, so we'll be able to see exactly what needs to be cut out. So I am going to wipe off these stamps just so I don't put stuff into the wet ink. But I'm going to keep them on the stamp in case I have to redo it. Same with her. I'm going to do the same thing with her. And we'll just set those aside in case we need them later. Hey, Janine. Hey, Barbara. And everybody's saying hello to everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so here's our little ones. We are going to have to color them, so like the skin tones and stuff. So I think we're going to do that first. I'm going to move this camera, so hang tight for an earthquake real quick, because it's a little bit too far away from me to color on it. I'm going to zoom in. Uh-oh, we got to wipe this off, or we'll be having this ink everywhere. So this should cut down on the coloring and allow us for a little bit more time for getting together our card, because we're going to play around with it a little bit. So tonight I'm going to switch up the skin tones just a bit. And I'm going to use some E30s tonight, so 37, 35, 33, and E00. So we're going to roll with that, and we're going to do that for both of our images. There we go. That should zoom us in. I want them to look a little more tan than they usually are, so that's why we're going to go ahead and add, we're going to do a bit of a different skin tone color tonight. We'll see how this goes, and we'll modify as needed, but for now, I'm going to roll with this. So there's her hand, which we need. Maybe we'll even add a little bit of pink. She is in her bathing suit. She might be getting her some serious sun. So she might have to have a little bit of sunburn going on. I don't know. We're making it up as I go along, like I usually do. Just starting out with the regular picture and then just rolling with the ideas as I go. So she has a lot of skin tone. What are you doing, little cap? She has a lot of skin tone that we have to color, but he does not. There we go. And we might as well try to do them both right about at the same time. Maybe we'll do their glasses too. We could stamp their glasses again like on black. Well, you probably wouldn't see that very well on black. Black on black probably won't work. So maybe I'll make their glasses a different color. Oh, he has way more skin tone than I was thinking he did. I forgot. I was thinking he was the guy with the soda, but that's where my brain went. Even though it was wrong. It was wrong. Like altogether wrong. Altogether. But that's okay. You guys got me. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, you're not very late. We haven't been working we haven't been on very long. Just a little bit. We just started coloring, so we haven't done a whole lot just yet. This E37 is going to be pretty dark, so I'm going to do it just around like the hairline, maybe a little under the neck, a little bit on the shoulders, because her hat will be shadowing all of this. She really is trying to stay out of the sun a little bit on her face. It's a pretty dark color, so don't be afraid to try it. This skin tone is very smooth when you get done doing it. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to do a little bit under her feet, and then right where one leg is overlapping the other. And then that gets her started. And then we'll go to him. We're going to do the tag team. We're going to do these at the same time until we get to the paper piecing. And then we'll slow down just a bit. A little bit under his neck as well. Under his sleeve. And I'm trying to do this back further on the marker so you guys can see a little bit better. So I don't have as much control as I'd like. That's why I choke so far down on the marker, is so that I can have the control. We'll just go up under his shorts a little bit. And then I like to do right down here where his foot goes into his shoe. Alright, that's my really dark color. I am going to pull out my R12, which by the way was missing all night last night. It was very frustrating. And I'm going to put that on her cheeks. And I'll decide later if I'm going to put a little red on her. I'm going to just do really lightly on his cheeks, but not as much as I did on hers, because I want hers to be a little more rosy. And I used R12 instead of R11 because the skin tone's going to be just a little bit darker than it normally is. I'm going to extend. Now, I only chose 3 colors for this skin tone, so we're going to cover a bit more area than we normally do with the second marker. My second pass over is just to work the line and blend the colors. So if you see me do that, that is why. Dale must have had my R12. I asked him to help me find it. We looked everywhere. I couldn't find it. But the problem is that I guess I was working so fast with all the markers, I stuck it back in the wrong place in the box. So I couldn't find it with all the other markers until I put every marker away. And then I was like, oh, there it is in the wrong spot. So I'm glad to have it back. Glad to know where it is now. That makes me super happy. And then on her belly, I'm going to do a bit more on her legs because, again, we only have one more color. So normally I would do around the outside, but I'm okay with there being a little bit lighter area around the edge. A little more of a glow from the sun. I'm not too worried about going into the bathing suit because we're going to paper piece that. So we're going to go over it anyway. We don't have to blend the colors. So that'll make it a little bit easier. She's definitely going to look a little more tan. Probably would have been a good idea to use that sentiment tan lines and fun times, but I already chose another one, so we're going to roll with that. Hey, Tamara. Oh, you're back, Beth Coles. Yay, we have both Beths here tonight. Hi, Beth 1 and Beth 2. Going to go around his ear, inside his ear. Going to go around his face. I'll have to do that twice because that color's dark and I want to blend that out just a little bit. So I'm going to work that a little bit more. That's how I get that skin tone to blend much more smooth. And feel free, if while I'm coloring, to ask any questions. If I don't answer them right away, it means I didn't see it. So feel free to ask again. I'm going to do up underneath his glasses here, since we only have one more color. I love this scene where these two people are in the same scene. I mean, you can do them individually. We've done some like that already. But I really like it when he's playing his little ukulele for her. I think it's really cute. And I'm trying to use a little bit different than the standard thought, which would be put him by the tiki hut or put him on the beach. I'm trying to change it up just a little each time so you can see different ways to use the paper pads and stuff. So tonight we'll be doing not the standard what you would think of. So look at that. We got skin tone going super fast. I love that you guys are saying hi to everybody. E33, this should be our last color unless we need to blend from here. But I think this will be the last one. And this will make our characters really tan for outside. They'll look darker than they will once we get their clothing and stuff on. When it's all you see, it looks darker. And then once you add the clothes and all that kind of stuff, it kind of lightens the skin tone. So I like this color, though. It's a very nice caramel type color. Fingers. Gotta get those fingers. It's going to be a pain cutting around those fingers for paper piecing, but the end result will be well worth it. Now this arm. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. I love that. Okay, we got our little hand here. Her belly. She's been laying out in the sun. She's looking nice and tan. This would be like a dream tan for me. It would never happen. I'm red, then I'm white, then red, then white. No tan. I don't get tan lines. I don't get any of that good stuff that everybody can lay out in the sun and get. Well, not everybody, but what most people strive for. I did it one whole summer. I laid out almost every single day, and I just peeled and went right back to white. There was no tan lines for me. Just doesn't work. You know this group of crafty peeps is amazing. I do. They are. Hello, Mama. Okay, there we go. We have skin tone. And now we're going to do him. Still have a bit of coloring to do on the new release, but let me tell you, I cannot wait. So I might be doing that tonight. Got to get you guys' ephemera ready for the release in 2 weeks. Alright, here we go. Round the arm. So I have a question for you guys. When do you guys know when it's Doux Design's birthday? Their 1 year anniversary. Ooh, they look so nice. This is also giving time for these images to dry on the paper, just in case they were still a little bit on the damp side. Andrea says, I know. Yes, you do. Let's go ahead before, let's try to figure out, let's try to cut these out. I want to cut out her, so I'm going to cut out her little bottoms first. So you basically just cut out the piece that you want to use. Get it? Paper piecing. Just cut the piece that you want. So we definitely want this swimsuit. I'm going to go ahead and cut around her hand because I'm going to need to look up close a little bit closer to do that side. So these are very small pieces, but I have to cut around her hand. So what I'm going to do is hold this up just a little bit closer to me so I can see it a little better. I mean, I don't know. Which would you prefer, coloring it or paper piecing it? I think as long as we're close. It will probably be okay, but we'll see. Look, everybody's saying hi. If you popped in and I missed you, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to say hi to everybody. So here we go. Oh, I didn't finish cutting that. I didn't finish cutting this piece. because I stopped for her hand. So let me get my tweezers because that'll make it a little bit easier. So I wanted this little swimsuit to fit right here. Oh, look at that. So nice. I'm a little bit over on her fingers, so I'm going to take just these little scissors and cut just a teeny bit more because I don't want to hide those fingers under her swimsuit. I think this will work nicely, and I'll probably go ahead and just put that on there. Perfect. Well, that worked out very nicely. Beth says, I'm fussy cutting because of Sandy, and now I can't stop. Right? That's the way it goes. Once you get the hang of it, you just fussy cutting crazy. There we go. I'm going to place that on her. Nice. Perfect. A little bit of glue popped out there, but that's okay. Now I'm going to cut the top of her swimsuit out. So it doesn't matter what else you cut, just as long as you get the bathing suit. Like if you cut into her arm or whatever, it doesn't matter. So it makes it a little bit easier. So for her, I want to be careful here. I don't want to cut into her hat because we want to do her hat too, because I just think it'd be really fun to make her have a hat that matches her swimsuit. So, yes, I'm going to cut her neck because it'll just make it easier for me. Okay, and then I'm going to have to cut in between here so we can show the skin right here. And then I'm going to cut right here. And I'm going to cut down this side. It's very tiny, maybe a little tedious. If it's not your thing, that's fine too. But it's always worth a try because it can be so cute and so much less work if you don't have to do it yourself. So here's her top. Okay, I need to trim just a little bit off of this piece right here. You can tell it's going over her face. So I need to trim just a smidge off of that. Smidge is the official term for that. Just a smidge. I didn't have any yellow polka dot paper, so that's why we went with this one. Yep, I think we could get away with that. So she's going to be blue and blue polka dot instead. You find it therapeutic? Me too. Me too. Sometimes I save them and I cut them all at the same time. Just whenever I need a little bit of time for meditative, where I just need to sit and relax and just kind of veg out, I'll do it with fussy cutting. Some people probably find that crazy because it stresses them out, but for me, it's very relaxing. So now she has an adorable bathing suit on. Let's see if we can get her hat as well. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to cut around the outside of this hat. If we feel like, because the black is just very light, because I didn't want it to be really dark on this paper, we can always draw that back in if we need to, but I think it's enough. Just enough. And it seems to be holding really well on this paper, so I used the Memento ink, so it stays on, will probably be darker. It'd probably take longer to dry, but it would dry. So her hands are up by her face, so I need to go around them. So her little pinky sticking out. And then I have to go around her hair. This is not really much different than cutting her completely out. We're just cutting the edges of different areas of her. So it's really not that bad. We're going to come along the brim of the hat and just cut straight across the brim. Soon as I get there. Right there. And then all the way across. Up to where her hair stops. Don't cut all the way across. Just cut up to where her hair is. And then you'll go back down, or you can come up from the other side, whichever is easier for you. And then this will meet up with that slit I put in there, and that gives me her hat. I've seen this done before. It's cool. Yeah, I've seen people do it before, but I don't do it very often, but I think it's kind of cool. I think I don't want to put it on there just yet because we need to color her hair, but it does fit, so I feel really good about that. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and cut her glasses out too, but I think the polka dot, no, I'm not. I think the polka dot's terrible for her glasses, so we may have to pick something else. Or we'll just make her glasses black. I'm not sure which. But let's see what we do with him, because you know we had two different options and we weren't really sure how it was going to look. So let's do his shorts first. Paper piecing reminds you of paper dolls. Yeah, I could see that. So I'm going to come down here and I just want to cut the shorts out. So remember, we have to cut along here, but we can't forget to go up in here because we're going to need all of that part of the shorts. But this is a great alternative if you don't like to or don't want to or aren't feeling like coloring. You can do this instead. And you can pretty much do it with anything and any paper, so just whatever strikes your fancy. We're going to cut off his belly and then the ukulele and then the rest of his shirt. And so what you get is something that looks really bizarre. It's not like just cutting out a pair of shorts. It's like cutting it out to mold around the character. So it looks really strange, but when you place it on here, it's like perfect. Now he has blue shorts, which is so cool. Let's see. We'll put those aside. So I used the sky for his shorts. And now I want to use this really floral piece for his shirt. I don't know what that's going to look like, but we're going to cut it out and try to see if it works. We may have to do it more than one piece because of that guitar, but I'm not sure how that's going to work just yet. So we want to make sure we pick up these bottom parts of his shirt, and then it'll just be easier for me to cut off that excess so I can really see what I'm working with. So we're going to go up this side all the way past his arm to where his shirt is. His little shirt's right there. So I'm going to cut across to where his shirt is, but we are going to have to cut that guitar out. That's not going to work with the guitar or the ukulele in there. So let's see. Here's his other shoulder. So we'll cut along that. Down his sleeve right here. Go out a little bit. And then his arm comes in. But we only want the shirt. So I think if I stay close to the arm, That will help me cut out that piece. So I'll focus on the arm first. And then he's playing the ukulele, so we're going to come around here and we're going to cut that ukulele part off. So we're going to end up with this piece, and we'll see what that, okay. So we have to cut right here because that will be one side. These are really small pieces. I didn't know what I was biting off, but it's okay. This is that side of his arm. This is this side of his arm. So he's a little bit far. We need to cut along this line right about here. This one probably would help if we could see the black lines on it, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, so it goes to there. I need to cut off the guitar part, which is right here. Might need a little bit more. Nope. Yeah, just a smidge. Again, it's a little hard to see on all this pattern paper, but I like it. I like the pattern paper. So this one will go here. So now we have those two pieces, and we have shorts, so now we need this piece, and this tiny piece right there. I'm not really sure we can find that, but I bet we can make one up. Oh, I think I found it. It's right here. This teeny tiny piece. Looks like it would stay attached to this shirt. Where's that guitar? I see it now. Sometimes you have to look at it from a little bit different view to see. I mean, I could mess it up. You never know. You never know. I really don't do this very often, so I could see me cutting the wrong thing. But we own the stamp, so we can always switch it up. Let's see. We cut that part, so we need to cut this part, which will get us this piece. So right here, because we don't want his shorts in there, so if we cut this one right here, this will be this side. This one was more, the shirt's more complicated than I thought it would be. This side will go right here, and it will be his shirt, and there's that other little piece of his shirt still right there, so that one will fit. And then on this side, we just need that bottom piece. So that would be hard to see. Oh, here it is. We already cut it. We cut it when we cut the other one. So there we go. This piece will go right there. So we'll get his whole outfit in there. I know it's very small. It's very, very, very tiny. It's perfect because you fussy cut perfectly. I would not be able to do that. What color ink did you use to stamp on the paper? I just used Memento, black tuxedo Memento ink. Okay, let's go ahead and put these down. Even though we don't have the guitar done, I'm going to go ahead and attach them anyway because they're kind of small and I don't want to lose them now that I cut them out. I usually tap on my hand a little bit before I glue it down just to get any excess so I don't leave any extra glue hanging out. That just works best for me. There we go. Then I'm going to take this little piece that I just flicked over there. You said I will not be able to do that. Yeah, you would. I would say start with a non-glossy paper, even a solid color, stamp it really dark, and then try it, because it's easier to cut when you can see all the design on there. But I mean, I was looking at the image right here to help guide me on what I was looking for to cut, and it was very helpful. So, I mean, I don't know that I've done this to this much detail ever before either, but I wanted to try it because I thought it would look really cool to put the whole background scene on the characters as well. I mean, look at this shirt. It's like a, it really looks like a beachy shirt for sure. And it works because we just used scraps, scraps from our leftover paper pads. So this is getting good use of my scraps before I toss them, because you know how I roll with that. You know me, I only keep like large pieces of scrap. I don't keep this small, tiny, whatever, because to me, it's just, I'll never go back and use it. I know myself and I won't do it, and so I don't keep it. It's brilliant. You like it? I'm just using my soda press to kind of press it all together so that it fits, you know, smooth. And then I wipe the glue off the top of my hand like it was never there. Just, it's barely art glue. It peels right off. You just rub it and it goes away. And then, yeah, I didn't go over far enough for his glasses, so maybe we should re-stamp him and cut his glasses out on this. Wouldn't that be cool? Although they're black in the picture, but we may go back and do their glasses in something. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We need to do hair. So we need to do her hair and his hair, and we need to do her lips too. Did someone say scraps? I did. I used a little bit of my scraps. Oh, we should do his shoes. We didn't even do his shoes. We need to do his shoes. Because then I won't have to color him. Can you imagine the craziness I could do with their hair if I paper pieced their hair instead of coloring it? That would be kind of funny, actually. I'm going to give him and her similar hair. So I'm going to use some of the markers. I'm going to show you how few markers we're using for this. I'm going to use the 27. I'm going to use 27, 23, and 21 for his hair. And then we'll see how light that is, and maybe we'll choose a different color for her. But this is 27. I'm going to do his sideburns first. And then I'm going to just, like we did before, I'm just going to put some of these little flicks from one side. I'm just using the artist drawn lines right now with a few extras of my own added in there. But mostly following artist drawn lines. It just makes life easier. I figured it out when I was drawing it, so I can show you what my intent was, but you can modify whatever way works for you. That's what makes it fun. There's a little bit more brush strokes in this than I normally do with the first one for hair, but we only have 3 colors. We're kind of cutting it down a little bit, so I have to put a little bit more color in there. This is going to give him like highlights in his hair. We know your scrap stash gets tossed. We've requested them from you. That's right. And you know, I used to have another girl too who would always periodically say, hey, do you have any scraps? I was gonna do this, and I would say, oh yeah, I probably have some, and I'd just throw them in I'll pay if you ship them to me. So, like, you can have them if you want them. I do give some to the lady I know that makes the cards for the military because, you know, she can always use those scraps to make those cards. So it's a bit of a donation. Drea, Scrap Tuesday. She has no excuse. Oh, I've been saving a few scraps for Scrap Tuesday. I believe if that's true, Scrap Tuesday, then I'm on the right day. I'm already playing along, and we haven't even started that live yet. Look at that cool hair. It's like a highlighted hair. I think I'll do hers in similar colors, but instead of using the darkest one, I'm going to use the 35, 23, 21. And this is going to really limit the number of colors we use, of course, until we get to the flower border. This is E23 and this is E35, and I was just checking to see if one was darker than the other. 35 is a little bit darker, so I may need to switch to 37. I would for contrast, but I think I'm going to stick, I'm really feeling the 35 tonight. So 35 it is. I'm okay with her hair is really light. So I'm going to do this little part of her hair right here. I mean, this is like a scarf. Her hair's wrapped in a scarf and then under a hat. So I'm going to kind of just do a little bit of this circular stuff. I'm okay if her hair is a little more smooth because it's just a very small area. And I want it to be a little lighter and a little less highlighty. I don't want it to look exactly like his. We don't want him to be serenading his sister. I want him to be serenading his potential girly girl at the beach. So I'm just doing a real simple color of that right now. And then E21, we'll smooth that out. Just kind of smoothing all the colors together, almost giving her a blended hair look. There we go. It's light, it's lighter than his, it doesn't have those dark highlights, so I kind of like that. I need to do her lips though. We're not paper piecing her lips, I can tell you that right now. And I want them to be a little brighter to match all of the background, so we're going to make them a little bit more on the pink side. So I think I'm going to use, I want a brighter pink, so I think I'm going to use, I want to make them real bright. We're going to use RV 17 and 14. This is going to make her have really bright colored lips. But we're going to do it because it will match the paper. So I just put a little bit on there for now, and then I'm going to blend that out with this lighter color, and it's just going to give her those really nice colored lips. We didn't do her tongue, but we can do that R12 since we already have that one out. We'll just add a little bit for her tongue, and then that part will be done. Now we do have to do eyes for her. So let's give her something bright. So let's go with the blue because her outfit is blue. So I'm going to try B26 because I think that matches the dark in her shirt, in her swimsuit a bit. And I'm going to put it at the top. And then I'm going to put a lighter blue. I'm only going to use 2 colors, but I'm going to use like BO2, so it's much, much brighter. The bottom part. You won't be able to see a whole lot of her eyes, so I'm okay with that. But she has a bit of the blue going on here. There we go. So I like that, but I'm really thinking I may paper piece those glasses. I'm going to do her little earring with this dark blue. And also a bit of this scarf. I'm just going to stick with the whole blue theme. So that was with the B26, and then I'm going to do the back part with the B02, just like I did with her eyes. I'm just going to blend that. I'm hoping that matches well with her hat. And we will see in a moment. Here we go. Oh, you can't get any better than that. Look at that. It matches great. Okay, time to put her hat on. Here we go. I'm going to hold it with my tweezers. Get some glue on there. I mean, you can put tiny, tiny bits of glue, but instead of really focusing on that, I just wipe it on my hand before I put it down to get any excess off. Just makes it easier. Just start placing it on one side and then just start shifting it over until you get it where you want it to be. And then once you have it placed where you want, then just press it with your press pop or whatever tool you have. This is the one I love. Look at that! She matches the paper. It's so cool. Okay, he needs shoes for sure. So for his shoes, we could do blue, but I don't really want to do blue. So I'm looking at what, I mean, maybe we can make them the color of the sand. I mean, they'd be bright shoes. Let's do them the color of the sand. So I'm going to take this stamp. I'm going to lift it up so we're just doing his feet. This time I'm going to do it I'm going to tap this off, but really lightly. And then I'm going to put his shoes right here, because I think that's in between any lines, and we won't have any lines on there. So perfectly easy to do the shoes now. I mean, we could do the guitar too, but I think I'd rather have the guitar a solid color, or the ukulele a solid color. Oh, we were going to talk about their glasses too. I definitely want to do hers. So I'm going to stamp them again. And let's see what paper. I wonder what paper would look the best. Like, I'm really liking this. So I think we'll use this same piece of paper. Ooh, or let's do the water. Okay. So I'm going to just do her glasses. I want them to be darker, so I'm going to stamp them in the water like this. I think I want his to be black, so I'll just color them. And while I'm coloring his glasses and her, or maybe I'll do them brown because I'll match his outfit better, then I'll cut hers out after they dry. Her tan is rocking. You like it? Yeah, me too. I'm pretty happy with those colors. So, plus it's using a lot of these little scraps. That makes me happy. Okay, so for his glasses, I just want them to be black. So I'm just going to use C9 and C7, and then C4 and 2 for the inside of his glasses. So let's do 9. And that's just because I want them to be like really black shades. So I'm going to do the edges. And I'm going to do the center part up and down on both sides. And then the side of this one. And then with the other color, I'll do the rest. Also, I want to do the bottom of his shoes, so I might as well do them with this. Because we're not going to cut out the bottom of his shoes in this orangey color we got going on over here. We're just going to cut the top part of his shoes. It'll also look a bit more dimensional, so that'll be kind of cool. I'm not really doing a whole lot of highlight on there. I just kind of want them to be really dark black glasses. And while I'm at it, when I get this one out for the inside of his glasses, this is C4, and I want them to be pretty shaded. I'm also going to use it on the ukulele so we can keep the number of colors down. We'll make the ukulele a pretty color, like maybe something like her lips or something, some bright colored. Look at you go. Yeah, this is not the norm for me, but I have watched Unhappy Crafty Ho Ho. I've watched them do a bit of paper piecing, and it made me think, I should try that. It would be fun. I'm going to use the other, I think it's C2 for the rest of the ukulele, and then I'm going to go back to and really do that ukulele in pink. He is literally going to have a pink ukulele because how fun is that? It doesn't have to be his. He could be playing someone else's. Plus, it just kind of ties him into her. She would be like, oh, look at that pretty pink. I love it. Where did you get it? You like my old storytelling? I can't help myself. I really can't help myself. All you need is a good story. I'm only using 2 colors, so I did most of it in the first one. And then this one. I mean, how cool is that shirt? I'm really digging that shirt with the palm tree on it. I think that really turned out nicely. And with not a lot of work. I mean, imagine if I tried to draw in the palm tree. Not that I couldn't, just that it would take a long time. And then on top of that, to color it in that much detail would be challenging. So let's do his shoes so we can move on to this really cool card idea I have. So I'm going to go ahead and cut his shoes out. So just the soles come off. All the rest of it stays. I'm just going to do them both at the same time since I'm right here. And I'm going to be using these very same papers for the background, so it's all going to coordinate together very nicely, I hope. That is the plan anyway. Okay, I'm going to go down in this part where his foot is. The key is moving the paper, don't move the scissors. You can get a nice clean cut pretty easily if you're moving the paper and not the scissors. There's one shoe. The shoes were easier than I thought they were going to be. And we got a lot of detail on the shoe this time when we stamped, so that is really helpful. There we go. And then we just need to cut off that edge of his foot, just like that. Now we have both shoes. Then we have to do glasses. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Christina. The shirt is really cool, Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. I agree. I love it. So we're going to try and do these glasses and see how they come out. They're ocean glasses, so I think they're pretty cool. Although you do have to think about the inside of the glasses. They technically wouldn't be the same color as the outside. So I think what we're going to do is make the inside of the glasses really smoky. So we'll just put like some black over it. Here we go. These are tiny glasses. But if we're careful, we can cut them out. Or you could do it with an X-Acto. You ready to see how those glasses turned out? I know I am. Alright, grab my tweezers. We're going to look at the glasses first. Ah, they're great. I'm just going to leave them just like that, I think. Look at that. Ocean color glasses. How cool is that? I love it. I'm doing it. I'm leaving it. Just like that. I was going to put some black over the lenses, which we could with a multi-liner or a Sharpie or whatever, but I kind of like them like this. They look like the ocean. Okay, girl, stop moving. Oh my gosh. I love them. Okay, we're leaving them. Now we have to do his shoes. This one right here. Look at that. We paper pieced almost everything on this. And these shoes, they match. And it looks dimensional too, so it really is pretty cool looking. Like he actually wearing shoes, three-dimensional. That looks really cool. They're reflecting the ocean. Yes, they are. And X-Acto, are you kidding me? I'd have no fingers left. You'd have to use it like on a sticky mat or like one of those from the Dollar Tree where it's held really still for you. And then just cut around it. That would probably work the best if you were going to use an X-Acto knife. I'm going to press that with my soda press again. Ah ha ha! Yay! Okay, so we have them finished, and I'm going to hold them up to the screen in just a second so you can really see up close, since you guys are some of you are looking from a phone. So there you go. This is our paper pieced shoes, shorts, shirt. That's our guy. And here's our girl. She is paper pieced in the hat, the glasses, and the top and bottom of her swimsuit. That's really turned out nicely. I'm honestly very happy with how that turned out. So now what I'm going to do is zoom in out so we can work on the card idea that I had, which is a little bit similar to it is a Z-fold, but it's got a little bit of a twist to it. We still have a teeny bit of coloring to do, and I'll show you how we're going to do that kind of quick and dirty. So here's what I did. I have pieces all over the place. Okay, I'm going to move these guys aside for a minute. I took this border stamp, and normally it fits along, let me see if I can grab whatever card I have sitting here so I can show you the shape of the card. So I made it so if you wanted to use it on a border of the edge of the card, you could, on an A2, fit it up the side. Or if you just cut it down a little bit, you could also fit it at the bottom of an A2 card. But I needed to do it for a Z-fold card, so I needed a longer piece than what it was. So I stamped one, and then I cut one little mask. I put it over that one, And then I brought this stamp set over here. Oops, this way. I placed it on top and I stamped it again. And then I just extended that border all the way across this sheet that I'm going to need for the card, because I want this to be part of my Z-fold. So I want you to be able to see the flowers with the Z-fold. So that's how I got that done. We're going to do the stamen of the Z-fold with either gold or silver gel pen. So we really just need to color the flowery part. And we're going to do it like kind of a quickish way. So we're going to go back to the markers that we already have out. I'm going to use the pink and the blue, okay, and I'm going to do every other one. I'm not going to worry about the stamen because you'll be able to see it, and we'll use the gel pen on it. So I'm going to take the dark color and I'm going to do every other one. So I'm just going to put the darkest color like around this part. Just want it to be in the center. I'm not really worried about any of the detail. I told you it was going to be a down and dirty thing. I'm going to do every other one. Just whenever you do this, just don't make the ends stop. Like when you're doing this, don't put them all in the same length. Just make sure you have some up, some down, some in, some out, you know, just kind of randomly put those in there. We're going to keep going all the way every other one. This will be enough to put the show that we kind of want to put on. I'm just doing this super fast. You could do it slower if you really want a lot of detail, but this isn't the focal point. It's just an added bonus to the card. So I'm really just going around the center and just brush stroke out like that. And then I'm going to take that BO2 that we used earlier, and I'm just going to blend from that dark into the light and just finish up that flower. This might not be the best color for this because it's not blending super well, but it's really just the point behind it and not necessarily any real detail coloring. It's a small border and it's really just, I mean, it's a small part of the card. But that is going to bug me, so I'm going to grab one more color because that's going to drive me crazy that they don't go together. It doesn't blend at all. I need a closer number, so I'm going to grab the B5 and I'm just going to extend from where that darkest color is. We're going to have to smooth it out. I cannot leave it like that. So I'm going to do it. It's just, I'm sorry, I just can't. You know me, I gotta have blended a little bit anyway. And I know the pink's gonna blend, so I'd feel bad if the blue looked terrible and the pink looks great. So I'm just going out again really fast around the edge with not stopping at the same place, just to get that blue to spread out a little bit. I'm not going all the way to the edge because we're going to come in and finish off with the BO2 as indicated before. Only this time I'm going to come from the edge of the flower in towards the center.
Did you answer Angela?
No, did she ask, do you stamp the flowers in a navy or is that black? It's black. It's the Memento black. I stamped it in the Memento black so I could color it, and I didn't know it was going to be blue and pink until just now. So if I know it's going to be blue or pink, I could stamp it in a different Memento color, but since I didn't know, you're always safe with the black one. So I did not. Thank you for grabbing that question, Dale. And then, see, we're just filling in, and the flowers look great. They have some dimension to them. There's just a quick, easy way to make this border, and it's a nice addition to your card. Because it adds some, if you just put one girl on there or one boy on there and you needed just a little bit more, this really can add to it. And those of you watercolorists, you could really whip through these flowers pretty quick. I'm not a watercolorist. In fact, I'm terrible at it. I've tried it, can't do it. But I am going to try to get some lessons from Drea to use the tools I have. But right now, I'm not good at it. Okay, so doing the pink ones. Same thing. I'm spreading a little bit further out because I'm not going to need a third color for this one. And again, I'm going to go over the stamen with a gel pen at the end, so I don't really have to color that in or worry about getting any of this color on it, because that gel pen will cover it up, will cover any ink, alcohol ink I have on there. So I don't really have to worry about that. If you were just going to use alcohol markers and nothing else for the stamen, you'd have to be much more careful around it. Here's the other color, which is RV14. I'm going to come in from the edge and blend into the color. I'm just going to be a little careful around the blue so I don't really overlap the blue color, because I don't want to get the pink in the blue. But you could, and that would make purple, and I would like that one because, I'm a purple girl, but we're pink and blue tonight. These colors will match nicely with this background paper that I picked that you're going to see, so that's why I chose the pink and blue. Hey, Shalana. Shalana in the house now, and Tammy, Tamara, Beth, Andrea. Woohoo! We're going to have fun watercoloring. You will soon be watercoloring diva. Oh, I don't know about that, girl. I've tried. I'm not convinced. I'm willing to try again, but I'm not convinced that that's going to be my medium. But we'll see. I'm going to try to have an open mind. So this is the quick and easy way to color these flowers, so they don't, I wanted to just show that you don't have to, like, if you wanted to go in great detail, you could do it like I did on the packaging. That's like 3 colors of pinkish and yellow on the edges, and you can do that if you wanted to, but I wanted to show you that not to be intimidated by this being a large design with small detail, because you really can make this look pretty sort of fast. We're almost done. So we did that faster than we colored the skin on the boy and the girl. And even some white left on the flowers just makes it look like a highlight, so you don't have to be real detailed and specific on these flowers. But they are fun. They are a fun addition, and I would love to see you guys use them as a border. There we go. Cheryl would love to learn watercolor too. Well, we'll just see. Drea can get me there. I can teach you. Or you can watch her, and she can teach you. Okay, so I cut my cards. This is a regular A2 card base. It will close like this. I scored it right down the middle of the front panel so I could fold it back. You guys probably know what a Z-fold is. I know we've done them on here before. And then I took a second piece and I just made it smaller it's smaller in length and it's smaller in width. So this one, I kept my ruler out so I could tell you, just in case you didn't know how to do this, it is 7.5 inches this way, like across, 7.5 by 4 1/4. I scored it 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, and that's how I got the smaller one. And then I have this one, which I also made very, very, very close to the 7.5. So that one was 7.5. This one's 7 1/4, and that's just because I didn't stamp far enough. But I said, hey, I'm rolling with it. So you could do this panel in that same size, but it's only 1 inch tall. I was going to use just this, but then I decided I needed more platform for the whole rest of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start decorating this one first. And then I will do this one, and then we will attach them together. Probably we will attach this before we put it on the card. But, so we're going to work on this one first. So I have chosen some waves of water. These are all 1/4 inch smaller than the actual frame. I put 2 and I cut them so they matched for these two. And then I chose this one for the inside. So with the surfboard and all the fancy stuff. So I'm going to attach these. Well, I almost hesitated because I thought, oh, I thought I was using waves. I'm not. Right here. So you know these pattern papers are going to match because it's the same paper. It's just the leftover paper. Hopefully I do this right. I don't do this very often. But I hope I don't attach the wrong panel at the wrong time. But if I do, I'm human. I know you guys will forgive me. She hadn't worked with her embossing folders and she nailed it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did. You're right. But that's because they taught me how to do it. I didn't have any. I was like, why would I even want these? And you do one thing with it, and you have an embossing folder, you get one design, and you're done. But no, they taught me how to use it in so many different ways. So it's very exciting. This panel goes on the inside, and you technically don't need this one because it's kind of hidden, but you know me, I like to cover all the spaces, so I'm putting it in there anyway. Now, I could have went with surfboards all the way across, but I knew they wouldn't line up because some of this was scrap paper. So I decided to go with just the 2 waves and the surfboards on this side. So this girl is going to go here. I will wait until I put her inside the card before I put her on, just so I can make sure she's placed properly. This one is going to go inside here. So I'm going to attach that. I contemplated this one, but I felt like it was too retro for the scene we had going on, so I decided to go with the other side, a little more subtle. But you can use either side, whatever you want. It'll be your card, you can decide. I teach students who hate watercoloring, so I know Sandy is going to nail it. Yeah, what would I do without your help? Okay, and then on this side, I want to do the same thing. Now, I didn't put a paper on this one, basically because I didn't have any more scraps that long. So that's the truth of the matter, if you really want to know. But you won't see it that much anyway because it'll be covered up with the smaller panel that we're going to put on there. So I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to put this one over here. It's always better to decorate these panels before you put the whole thing together than it is after the fact. So this one is going to go inside that one, but there's a key to how you do it. So for me, what I've learned is to place this one on the back panel first. But let me see how this goes. I really want this to be attached to, I want it to fold with this inside panel. Not as a third panel, but on this one. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and attach this one, but I want it attached below the paper. So I want it attached below. I don't want to mess up my scene I have right here. So I'm just going to put glue right along this edge, right here, all the way across. I hope this works because this was my plan. So I'm going to attach the flowers to the bottom here. And my main concern is making sure that my fold lines all stay lined up. That's my biggest concern because this is going to fold all at the same time. This is just kind of extending your panel. I hope it's not too far down. I don't think it is. Oh yeah, it is. Just a little bit too far down. I should move it up a little bit. I really do need to move it up a little bit. Even though I don't want to, I'm going to. I'm going to move it about halfway, I think. I'm glad I measured that before I guess I could have made this card a little bit smaller, and that would have worked. But again, my biggest concern is making sure that my fold lines are lined up because that's what I'm really going to have an issue with. Now I'm going to check this and make sure, I think that's good. It gives me a little bit all the way around. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to press this down. I don't want to try to fancy up these afterwards, so I'm going to try and do them now. I feel like gold is the best, so I'm going to use the Deco Gel Metallic Pen. And I'm only going to do... No, I better not, because you know what? Well, it's on paper. It'll dry fast. Yeah, I'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just do like this little stem, and then I'm going to do some little dots. I think the gold will look really good. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so long as it's on there. And it'll match with the yellow of the card, so I kind of like that. But I want to get this on there before, because once I start folding that card up, that is not going to be fun to fix. I'll hold this up as soon as I'm done so you can see the shiny. It doesn't have to be really detailed, just get the color on there. It'll be enough, I promise. It will be just enough to show off its awesomeness. Okay, so let me show you up close how the gold shimmers. So let me focus. Let me see if I can get the light to catch it. See how the light catches the gold shine on the stamens? I think that's just enough shine. You can definitely see it when you hold it up to look at it, so that is super cool. It was on coloring paper, so it'll dry rather quick. Now, I have another option, and I can't decide which way I want to do it, so I haven't made that decision. You guys are going to make that decision with me. So I'm going to fold this over real quick, and I'm going to burnish those edges. Just because I attach those pieces together, I want to make sure that they fold nicely. They fold great. Now, if it bothers you that there's a little sliver hanging over, you can trim that off. It kind of bothers me, so I'm going to do that. But you don't have to. It's not really that big of a detail. That's kind of bugging me, so I'm going to take that off. It's bugging me. It's bugging me. There we go. All right, now the edges match. That was driving me crazy. Okay, here we go. Ready? The first thing I do is put this panel down where you want it on the back. That's the main piece for me when I do this. So I'm going to put the glue on it. I'm not going to put it on this panel. I don't think it's really all that important to be on the bottom panel as long as the rest of it is attached. Okay, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to set it where I want it. That way I can have it like centered and as far away from the edge as I want. Exactly where I want it to be. I'm going to press it down and hopefully this isn't going to mess anything up. And then you lay this over and you close this side and then you just put glue on half of this panel. And when you fold it over, it will attach to the front. So just like right here. When you fold it over, it'll attach to the front. And then it opens up and gives you the Z-fold that you need. That way you're not trying to space that in between. It's super cute. It's a great scene. I want her on the inside down here. I'm going to close this. I kind of think it'd be neat to sort of be able to see her from the front. I thought I would put him here. That way you kind of see them both. But I also cut another panel. If I didn't want to be able to see her, I could put this panel on there, put him on there, and then you wouldn't see her until you open the card. But I couldn't decide if I wanted to do that or not. What do you guys think? Put panel if you want me to put the panel on there, and put no if you don't want me to put the panel on there. I can't decide. I kind of like it both ways. So what do you guys think? Oh, I see it now. You see it now? We learn to do things because of all of you. Aww. We try. We try. We try. Do it with the panel. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to scoot her over just a tad. I'm going to trim her feet because I want them to stay inside the sand. So I was just going to trim that little piece of her foot. So I'm going to glue her down. So this panel will come all the way out. Yeah. So as long as I keep her within this box, oops. As long as I keep her within the panel, you won't see her from the front until you open the card. So I want to put her here and make sure her hat stays inside the panel. And then we'll attach this one. Remember I said we have some stickers and some shells, so we're going to hoop it up here in a minute. This is the same paper as this one, so it'll match nicely. So I'm going to place this one on top of this one. This was a really easy panel. I just did it in 3 1/4 by 3. And then I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to place it where I'm going to want it to be, slightly over the back panel. So I just want a smidge on this side. So I'm just going to hold this right here, and I don't want to go past that line when I glue, so I'm going to glue here. And then I can place it on here, just like this. We're going to put him on the front. Right here. Maybe move him down just a little bit so he lines up with her. This is the sentiment I chose. Waves of happiness headed your way. I think I may put it right here at the top. Like right here. You know, because he's got waves of happiness headed her way. I want that to stay. And then for the inside, we can put have a swell day. I pulled that one out as well. I'm going to put it at the bottom since the other one's at the top. Just right here. And then if I want, I can add some shells. Remember, we want to keep them inside of the panel or very close. You can see it. So maybe we'll add some shells to the front instead. Might as well, right? I have this embellishments. I should use them. With the panel, this card is so freaking adorable. Thank you. So we're going to put this one on there. And then I think I'll put this shell on there. Just get it. I like adding the little shells. I think it's neat. Makes it look pretty. And then we might as well, for her, we could, I think I had a smaller flower. Maybe we could put a flower somewhere over there if we wanted. Or we could put seashells on the inside. I think I'll put that one there. I don't have to use them all. We'll just put this one right there. And maybe since I chose to do the flowers a different color, I may just leave that off. And I think I'll roll with that one. So when you, here's the card. Here we go. This is what we got. When you, it says waves of happiness headed your way. And when you open it up, it says have a swell day. You can see the water, you can see the flowers, you can see the outline. It's a plain card until you open it up. And it's all that paper piecing we did, which really came out nicely. I love how it turned out. It's a very sturdy card. It will stand up. And when it stands up, you see it like this. So if you displayed it somewhere, you can see both the inside and the outside of the card, and they kind of match up nicely. So I love it. You love the addition of stickers to your collection. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, I love it. I think it's It's a fun card, and I love that their outfits are the papers that I used. So I hope you guys like that. I hope you learned a little bit about paper piecing and Z-fold cards. I know Z-fold card was part of the craft roulette this week. I didn't do a double Z for craft roulette, but I did do a Z-fold. But I really like this added border. I think it's neat, and I would love to see if you used it as well. So definitely let me know. Post in the group. And thank you so much for watching. Hello, Susie. We're almost done. I love these images so much. Yay, Cheryl. Loving all the levels and layer sizes. Lots of visual yumminess. Yes. I did try to play around with that, different levels and layers. I wanted it to be sturdy if it's going to stand up like this for someone, you know? I always learn something here. Thanks for adding to my crafty toolbox. Oh, you're welcome. Yay. I'm so glad you guys like it. If you want to see more crafting, or if you want to watch more crafting, evidently it's going to have something to do with scraps, so I may just leave these on my desk. But I will be over at Happy Crafty Ho Ho with Ellen and Drea after my live, so come join me over there with them. And after I upload this video. That's okay, Susie, no worries. After I upload this video to YouTube, so you guys can watch the replay if you need to. Thank you so much for popping in. Yes, on YouTube, it's at Crafty Ho Ho. So I will see you guys Thursday night at 8 Central, always 8 Central. Good night, everyone. See you later. Have a great evening.